What's going on, everyone? My name is Zachary Likes Comics, and I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today, I wanted to bring you a list of 5 comic books that you need to read in 2026. So this list is a great starting point for new readers. I've had a lot of people in the comments of my videos talking about, I want to get into comic books, but I just don't know where to start. This list also is tailored for those people that are trying to find a good jumping point, possibly for a new publisher. Maybe you're a Marvel fan trying to find new DC comic books. You're a DC fan trying to find a good jumping point for Marvel books, or you're looking for a new indie publisher such as like Image. But this is 5 comic books that you need to read in 2026. So I'm very excited to show you this list. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. And starting the list off, here we have Daredevil, A Man Without Fear by Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. Guys, I cannot praise this book enough. This is the solidified Daredevil origin story. If you are interested in a Daredevil fan and haven't read this, I highly recommend this book. I cannot praise it enough. Frank Miller's Daredevil run spanned for years, and if you didn't know, just made so many key moments in the Daredevil mythos and so many key parts in Daredevil's character. Miller was able to capture so much of the essence of Matt Murdock and Daredevil and truly encompass the moral conflict that Matt Murdock faces in trying to uphold the justice system by day, by also dressing up and being the Daredevil by night and trying to tie up those loose ends that get through the justice system. I think Frank Miller just does a fantastic job of telling Matt Murdock's origin story in this book. We follow along and learn how Matt got his blindness and how he was able to learn to control his senses and use them as a gift rather than a disability and fight. This highlights a mentor in Matt Murdock's life that is a significant character in upbringing of Matt and training of Daredevil. We follow along with Matt as he goes through law school and is trying to become a lawyer and meets his best friend Foggy Nelson, who is a key figure in the Daredevil mythos. We also get introduced to a huge relationship that will play a big part in Daredevil, and that is Elektra. And we learn here that Daredevil and Elektra were never really meant to work together. The toxicity of the relationship and the yin and yang is something that is very well touched on in this book, I think. Miller just does a fantastic job throughout this entire series, and by the end of this run, you were just wanting more of Frank Miller's Daredevil, and that is where you can go straight into Born Again by Frank Miller, another fantastic run. But this is the solidified Daredevil origin story and my #1 recommendation for my top 5 books of 2026. And coming into number 2, here we have book number 2, here we have Spider-Man Blue by Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale. Guys, this is a fantastic freaking book. I cannot praise this enough. Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale are a creative team that you're going to see as a reoccurring theme in this video. This duo just did so much amazing work in their time. Rest in peace to Tim Sale. There is a beautiful message at the beginning of this book by Jeph Loeb that is actually talking about Tim Sale and touching on grief and loss. And that's what this entire book's about. This is a story of Peter Parker's first love, Gwen Stacy, and the night that Gwen Stacy died. This shows just how important Gwen Stacy's character was in shaping Spider-Man and the Spider-Man mythos and Peter Parker. I think this is just a beautiful story about love and loss and dealing with grief. We follow Peter as he is struggling and dealing with his love life and this coming of age story as he is navigating through college. And while he is navigating with his love life, he is also having to deal with the everyday responsibilities of being friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And I think Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale just do a fantastic job throughout this book, touching on Peter Parker's obligations and kind of his struggles in dealing with his love life while also trying to be Spider-Man, and showing just how important his love life really is in being able to be Spider-Man and be Peter Parker. I just love everything about this book. Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale absolutely killed it. If you have read this book, let me know in the comments down below. I think this book truly deserves all of your undivided attention and should be read in one sitting. Spider-Man Blue is just a fantastic 5 out of 5 stars. I cannot recommend this enough. And coming into book number 3, here we have And coming into book number 3, here we have Do a Powerbomb by Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer. I don't think I could be making this list without somewhere including Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer. This is a creative team that has just been absolutely crushing it in the comic medium as of lately. If you know, you know. Anything that you find from them on the shelves, you will thoroughly enjoy, I promise you. Do a Powerbomb, Murder Falcon, Beta Ray Bill, Transformers, you name it. It's going to be something you were very much having a fun time reading, and Do a Powerbomb is no exception to that list. This is a story about Luna Steel Rose and a coming-of-age story as she has dealt with and witnessed the death of her mother in the ring, Yao, at the hands of a man named Cobra Sun in wrestling, and as she is trying to make her way in the pro wrestling scene, Luna is introduced to a man named Willard Necroton who offers her a chance to bring her mother back to life on very key conditions, those conditions being that she has to fight in an intergalactic pro wrestling tournament, and she has to find a duo partner to do this with. And that's where Luna starts to struggle. She has had this shadow over her head ever since her mother's passing, where no one really wants to help her out. And that's where she finds the most unlikely of partners in Cobra Sun. And this is just a thrilling and fun story that is about family. And Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer absolutely kill it with this story. The pacing of the story, the world building, the characters throughout this story, and the message are all just amazing. I cannot recommend Do a Powerbomb enough. Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer have absolutely been crushing it in the comic scene as of lately, and Daniel Warren Johnson actually does not only the writing for this story but also the art, and Mike Spicer does all of the coloration for this story, and they just work together in such a beautiful way. I could literally just show you some of the art in this and give you an example of just how beautiful this story really is, and you are just going to be along for the ride the entire time. You are going to love it. I cannot recommend this enough. And coming into book number 4, here we have. And coming into book number 4, as I mentioned before, Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale were going to be a recurring theme on this video. And this duo just does a fantastic job of creating stories in this medium, the comic medium, and the Batman Long Halloween is no exception. This is detective noir that follows the holiday killer as he strikes on major holidays, as one would expect, and we're following the story in a month-to-month basis, following major holidays on the calendar as Batman is trying to unmask the holiday and using all of his detective skills and tools to solve this mystery. And just when you think you have a piece of the puzzle figured out, you feel just as hopeless as Batman as you realize things are not what they seem. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale do a fantastic job narrating the story and throwing you through zigs and zags through the story, introducing so many of Batman's rogues in the story, such as Riddler, Joker, Scarecrow, Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Harvey Dent, Solomon Grundy, and so many more that just play a key major role in the story in a way that you would not expect. This story is what heavily inspired The Batman, which is Rob Pattinson and Matt Reeves' film that came out a few years ago, a fantastic film and a fantastic book that it was based off of. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale just absolutely killed it on this detective noir that really has you on the edge of your seat throughout the entire story, and things are just not what they seem. The holiday killer is not who you expect, and even by the end of the story, you still question as you close that book, is this who it is? Is this really the holiday killer? And that's what I love about this story. I think it is just a fantastic mystery that really encapsulates Batman's detective skills. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, and I'm sure that you will love this book. And coming into book number 5, last but not least, here we have The Watchmen by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. Guys, there is a reason why this book has stood the test of time and is as highly praised as it is. Alan Moore is able to touch on such heavy themes such as heroism, morality, the meaning of life, and so much more in such a fascinating way throughout this book. This book starts as a murder mystery but quickly unfolds into a conspiracy for all of humanity with implications that you would just not expect. It is just mind-blowing, the story throughout this 12-issue series, and the final few panels of this book will just have you with chills up your spine. The art style by Dave Gibbons, as well as the character designs of all of the characters in this story, such as Rorschach, Night Owl, Silk Spectre, Dr. Manhattan, Ozymandias, the comedian, are drawn so beautifully and depicted in such a beautiful way. The world building that Dave Gibbons is able to do, tied with Alan Moore's narration and writing style, are just fantastic throughout this book. It really draws you into this story, and this story starts as what you would assume is a story about heroes and heroism, but you quickly learn that heroes are not welcome in this otherworldly Cold War era America, and we have actually won the Vietnam War thanks to Dr. Manhattan. And we learn a little bit about Dr. Manhattan throughout the first few issues and what caused him to become the way he is with his powers. It's truly such a fantastic drawing of just the meaning of life and the morality and heroism of each of these characters and how they have these moral obligations that they struggle with. I cannot rave about this book enough. Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons truly kill it with this book, and they show that the comic book medium isn't just about superheroes and action and can touch on much heavier subject matters than just that and really break the mold with The Watchmen. I don't think any other story really has done that since, and that is my favorite part about this book. Guys, that is my list of my top 5 books for 2026 that you need to read. I hope this list was a little bit helpful for those that are new readers looking for something to dive into, whether it was Marvel, DC, just a great storyteller or writer and artist team. But I hope you all enjoyed this video and found some part of it helpful. Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I'm going to try to do more videos like this in this future. I wanted to do maybe a video that was my top 5 ongoing series for 2026 that you need to be reading. So let me know if you enjoyed this video, and we will be back on Wednesday for New Comic Book Day. Peace.